Hello, welcome to Dig Deeper with me, Malice, and I'm rather excited because from Popstars fame to ARIA chart-topping and now local yummy mummy, jazz goddess joining us in our very own Bent TV studios. Absolute pleasure to welcome Katie Underwood.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. So I've particularly asked you on because I'm a bi-oriented girl and I'd like to talk about a little bit about your sexuality and what's been referred to as casually coming out in an article, an SMH article in 2007, I think.
Yeah, it's going back a bit now.
Yeah, so did you head into the interview thinking, all right, this is it, I'm going to throw the Bible out there?
No, I didn't. I'd been out to my friends since I was 19. I'd been out to my parents since I was 24, so it was only a few sort of years after that. And frankly, I thought everybody knew already because when I was in Bardot, I was called the dykey redhead. So I just thought, well, people either have assumed that I'm gay or at the very least that I'm bi, and I quite honestly didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah, so it was no horror story for you coming out?
Well, I didn't. Being assumed gay never bothered me because I was bi. I was halfway there anyway. So, when it just happened to come out in this interview, I'm like, what's the big deal?
So did they outright ask you? So are you? I
can't even remember. I don't know. I think it was something along the lines of. I think the context was I was talking about a musical I was co-producing called Dark Angels, where I played a burlesque bisexual stripper who was going to be killed, and it was something I recall it was something along the lines of, well, is that much of a stretch for you, playing that role? I said, well, no, being bi is like, well, that's kind of playing myself, but as a stripper. Yeah. So I don't know, it was something along those lines, but I really just didn't think it was a big deal. And to this day, it's still one of those stories that pops up on Google, sort of on the front page going,
well, I must admit this is where I found it because I was doing the little search on Katie and I'm like, casually coming out. I'm like, well, I have a similar thing because I just sort of just assumed that everyone had just worked it out, right? Yeah. You've seen me kissing a girl, right? And a boy, so
and half of Melbourne had already seen that from me in my younger days. So it's like awesome. It's not like I'm trying to hide it here.
Yeah. So have you found you've been treated differently at all in the media or anything?
No, not really. I suppose I don't know, I'm speculating here, but a safe bisexual in the sense that even when I had come out, I was still married. So I don't know whether it's just people put you in denial, but I mean, frankly, it's not really anyone's business what I do with who I do. So I guess that's why I've not put much weight in it, and I haven't banked on it either. I mean, I've always enjoyed working in the community and working at gay and lesbian events and festivals because that's where all my friends are. That's where I like to be. So for me, it wasn't a big deal. But I think the media really already knew. It's just we've never actually specified and gone, well, yes, I am bi. So what's the big deal?
Well, it's funny. It's interesting. It's just who you are. You've got red-coloured hair, bisexual.
I opened, in my first film clip, I was wearing a purple latex catsuit. I mean, seriously,
I remember this suit.
How hard can it be to figure out?
Interesting. Yeah, you were quite different to the other girls.
And that was accepted. And even in the group, the girls identified that they're like, we can't do what you do, and we don't want to. So you just go for it.
Okay,
sweet.
That's cool.
So that was good. Meant that I wasn't having to fight over whose turn it was to wear the Diamante belt in this film clip. I'm not kidding. That conversation actually occurred once between two girls. That one of them wanted to wear the Diamante belt and the other one wanted to do the disco thing. It's like,
wow. Okay, so this is interesting.
So I'm over here with my leather and latex. I'm sweet, babe. I'm fine.
I'm with you totally. Yeah. So of course we are talking Popstars, and most of our viewers will probably remember you from this. I think.
Yes.
Which was it was the first of the singing style reality TV shows that we had in Australia.
It was the first reality TV show in Australia.
Yeah, right. So that's quite a badge to wear, I think.
It is, and it always surprises me how much people still remember that show, even though it's 13 years ago. So.
Yeah. So what sort of feelings have you got, sort of thinking back about the show?
It's fun. So I guess it's where it all began for me publicly. Yeah. I don't lie awake at night and go over the memories in my head. It's just become part of my career history, I suppose. Yeah,
I've got like a fascination with reality TV, as a lot of our viewers probably do, and I really want to know what it's like living with the cameras in your face like
Intense.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
really intense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Full on, yeah.
But in a way, it's true, you do get used to it.
Yeah,
like, you know,
okay,
when you're
so you
watching
kind
a
of
show
forget.
like Big Brother and you
Yeah.
think, how can they not know the cameras are on them?
Right.
But you do actually get used to it because you have to. Because
Okay.
if you stay in the mindset that you're being watched all the time and that's actually real, it does kind of screw with your head. So in the
Yeah.
end, you do have to just learn to tune out. And of course, that's what the producers are hoping for, because
Yeah.
then you
Then you
do and say things that you perhaps wouldn't do if you were consciously aware that you're being recorded
Yeah.
all the time. And that's the gold, you know, that's like what they call the money shot in
Okay,
TV.
so we're talking, you know, the bitchy moments or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
all that. That's all gold. You know, there's someone in a little room in an editing suite going, gold,
Yes.
gold. You know, when someone's crying, that's like considered a money shot.
Oh, so
Yeah.
awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, okay, having said all that, would you recommend to youngsters starting out that this is a good way to get into the music scene?
No, not particularly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones. I made the best of the start that I had.
Yeah.
But I've seen so many go through that machine and just be spit out the other side. You know, they're back working at the shoe store or whatever the next
Yeah.
season. So it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
For me, I was able to make it work, and there's certainly a few others that have made it work. But yeah, I think the majority just get fed into this TV machine and spat out the other side and, you know, recycled for the next season of TV, and that's just how it is.
And there's so many of these shows now, aren't there?
Yeah.
Like, there's one on every channel.
Yeah,
Like,
I try not to watch them.
yes, no,
I can't.
I don't like the singy shows, I must admit. Although I did watch Popstars, I did, and I remember some kind of spider moment for some reason in my brain.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there was a spider. Ridiculous, how trivial. Our
That's
whole
so funny
life,
that
the
that's the
whole
bit I remember
episode
the most.
breaks down to,
Yeah.
oh, girl screaming about a spider.
Yes.
Oh, it's sad.
So, well, that seems to suggest there wasn't a whole lot of gold going on then, if that's
Not
the case.
that week, no.
Yeah.
It was a low activity week.
Yeah, right. So very, very interesting. Very interesting times during the pop star era. Thank you, Katie. And we'll be talking more to Katie on the next Dig Deeper.